Guys, how's it going? This is Vitamin C K's
Zuko.
and K says one. Today we're going to discuss Wario's custom special moves. Let's crack these customs. So let's start off with the Inhaling Chomp. Pull enemies in, then bite down. Slightly less powerful than normal. So as you can see, this has a little bit less damage than normal, but with relaxing damage, it makes up for in range. This is very good. It just pulls you in. You can't suck them in if they're shielding, but even if they're not shielding, then he tried to roll there, and it just sucks you in really quickly. So depending on where you are, not even rolling can save you. He was like at the max range, but if he's like right here, well obviously I'm gonna bite down. But yeah, really good. You can use it in the air. Very good strategy against the DK Kong Cyclone. He up Bs, you can just like suck him in here and then start biting down. It's been used as tech for that. You can also still grab the items in. Even with the Cyclone, I didn't get to show it there, but you might be able to show it now when he gets off the bike. Just pull it in, eat it. So really good move, you know. Wario's command grab. This is a command grab that you can use anywhere on the screen. To have like a win box to suck you into it, that's just like screw the damage. I'm pretty sure people would rather have this just because of the applications you can throw on it. So I want to say this is automatically awesome.
Yeah, I mean maybe. Damage is important. Can you mash when I'm in you?
What do you want me to mash?
Like you press like A and Wario chomps more, you know? Yeah.
So it does like by one. I think it usually does by two, but
yeah, okay.
So it's equally balanced. You know, you lose out on damage, but the range and the applications you get are awesome.
Right. And I have the Garlic Breath, which I won't have a command grab, but if I land this really slow move, it dizzies them.
Yep.
Which basically lets you do whatever you want.
You can use it in the air.
Yeah, I can. But I can't move during it. Like I'm kind of just stuck in that like one line, and that like animation takes a while. I can hold it a little longer if I want. Yeah, and if they're in the air, they kind of just get blown away. But the real like reward is if they get stunned by it, and then you get like an F smash or something. Now, the shield damage is pretty good. Doesn't break shields.
Yeah, it's very close to it.
Yeah, you would have to like force them to block a little bit and then do this if you want to like break their shield, which kind of makes it a little tricky. I mean, I like this move, but I don't think it's really
not practical. Yeah,
you know,
just
it's cool that he can like
literally like over one setup.
Yeah. You don't want to lose a command grab. So even though this is cool, I think both of his other chomps are better.
Alright, so let's move on to the speeding bike. This bike is faster and lighter, but it does less damage and falls apart easier. So this is like extremely fast. Like you won't have any trouble getting back to the stage, and your opponent's gonna have a little bit harder time punishing you or trying to intercept it just because of how fast they need to like prepare for it beforehand. But it does break apart really easily. Like I guess just do your thing, you know.
Yeah, that was
just
fair.
And, you know, like anything can just break me apart. I can't turn around either, so if I go like this, I can do like wheelies and stuff, but I can't like turn around at all.
You aren't allowed.
As well with Zuko, he can, and the normal one as well.
Right. So you lose your freedom with that. But I mean, it's very fast.
It's also a little weaker when it comes to killing too.
Yeah. Maybe I know what the wheelie can kill, but I don't know about this one. It's sometimes weird, and since you're so fast, like it doesn't seem like it can. So I would assume, you know, we're not going to test it all day, but it does just seem weaker overall. So you know, what you see is what you get. The speed makes it really good though, just because his recovery was already really good. Now it's just insane. But you are losing bike setups if you aren't good at There's like that one tech where you slam the bike against the ledge. I can't do it with mine because it's too slow. But I don't even know if you could do it with this one because I haven't played around with it. But if you can, then that would probably be your only way. Yeah, like that. So now it's on the stage. But at the same time, it breaks easier, so you have to be even more careful. So, you know. But I have the Burying Bike, which is a slower bike. But if I hit them, it buries them. And if he's at a higher percent, I could probably follow up on it easier. But, you know, well, I can't use my bike, so I gotta... It's like mental that I have to remember that. So you will bury them with pretty much any attack besides like the wheelie when it goes up, I think, if they're in the air. So this is pretty much only for grounding.
Yeah.
You still get bike setups, thankfully. I think all the bikes do the same amount of damage if you throw it, like depending on how hard you throw it and where it hits them. That's not really the point of this. I'm just trying to show off that like its one use is that you know, they get buried, and then you do something to them. I'm not really sure what Wario could do from a bury.
That's the most optimal thing.
Yeah, because
you are buried, so you're going to be taking less knockback. But usually multi-hit moves are the way to go.
Right. And a lot of all his smashes seem to be like one hit. I don't think this hits 3 times. Pretty sure it's just once. But I mean, yeah, it's a burying move. Slower bike. You're not probably gonna kill them with it, but you might kill them off of the setup. So if you want to bury your opponents, use this one. Yeah.
So let's move on to the wide screw. Less damage and range than corkscrew, but you can change the angle. So this has a lot of freedom when it comes to the range. I can move like literally left to right to left, left to right, little diagonal. Whoops, diagonal upwards, diagonal backwards, straight up, whichever way you want to go. Except like down, because you are only moving in upwards level.
Of course.
So yeah, even there, like when I'm holding straight right, he still like hovers off the ground a little bit. It's not like a grounded, I'm staying on the ground move. So it's almost like a kind of rainbow-ish like motion. Anywhere in that like normal regard, you'll be able to go. So pretty cool when it comes to the range. But remember, you are losing out on the normal max distance that you can get. So that's the nerf in that distance. As far as like the damage goes, it seems
okay.
Standard. Yeah.
Nothing to write home about. Might kill better horizontally, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. Because you are pushing them in that direction. So.
Yeah. But I don't know if you would actually kill with it. At the same time, you have no rage, so who knows what will happen. But you get the idea. As for me, I have the corkscrew leap, which basically has no hitbox, but you go a little bit higher. You can't angle it until you're at the top, and then I can kind of curve it around. But I mean, you're vulnerable this entire time. This is kind of just for like if you quickly need to get back. But losing your hitbox, in my opinion, isn't worth it. Wario's recovery's already been really good. His normal bike's really good for recovering. The speedy bike is really good for recovering. So either of those with the normal one, including your fart, if you want to use that for recovering. This one, I don't see it being too practical, just because you shouldn't forego your attack just for like a little bit more range. Like, I mean, it's okay, but I really don't like that it has no hitbox.
Yeah, maybe not even in the end. Like he's like stretching out his arms. You'd think there'd be a hitbox there, but no, nothing there.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's move on to the final two, the wafts. So I start off with the rose-scented waft. Release noxious gas that makes flowers grow on opponent's head. So I have one fully charged right now. So basically anything in this gas will take a little bit of damage, and it'll also get a flower over their head. So I can also use it, like if he takes the flower off, I have like nothing right here, that will also create a flower. It's just that the gas is really small. So as it grows over time, you have a wider range to put the flower over their head and deal more knockback.
Yeah, and the flower is bigger as well.
Yeah.
When you have more gas.
And that means it's hard to take off. So, yeah, you get rewarded over how long you wait for it. But obviously, you won't be using that very, very strong kill option anymore. That you
I didn't die at like 150. I don't know. I think I have seen this kill before, but I'm not really sure. So we're gonna test that around later.
Yeah.
We don't want to wait like 2 minutes for this one. I have the quick waft, which is a weaker fart, but it charges in, I want to say half the time. I haven't timed it, but I mean the official description just says it's quicker. But like just from eyeballing it, it seems like it's half. So you're gonna get a weak fart regardless, but your reward is that you don't have to wait as long. But at the same time, you're kind of putting less fear into your opponent.
Because they're like, okay, even if I see him glowing, I'm not gonna die, even at like 100%. So.
Yeah, and I kind of don't want to use the farts again. I kind of want to save it up just to see like how the knockback is. So I'm just gonna talk. The normal fart with rage is insanely strong. In fact, I think that's one of the best things about Wario that has been changed to him, is that he can kill characters at like 50, maybe even lower depending on their weight. Alright, so I have a full fart. He's at 72. I'm gonna fart him. I'm at 184. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, not even into the magnifying glass at all. I feel like I was at 77 or something. That's
something like that.
10 damage, yeah. So
where's the fear? What's the point of charging this fart if like you won't even get a good reward for it?
Yeah.
How about you fart on me? Let's see if I
have it fully charged now, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he died, but he was at 180, and it seemed like maybe if he was like 15% earlier or something, he probably wouldn't have died. But that's not the main point of the move. The main point of the move is to gradually poison your opponent over time.
Yeah. The first time I got farted, I was holding down, so maybe I was like vectoring it or something. Which I went like nowhere, and it was like really strange to me. But I was pretty sure you could at least kill with that at some percentages. But yeah, I mean, the flower's nice, I guess. You know, it gives like the normal fart a little more use instead of just like having to charge it and only using it then.
Yeah.
Just because I have to like always deal with this now. Yeah, the quick waft, I'm not really a big fan of it just because there's literally nothing to worry about.
Mhm.
The farts. But yeah, I think we can go over, like, we could do the wrap up now.
Yeah, so Wario's got some interesting ones. I definitely am a big fan of the inhaling chomp. The garlic breath has its uses, especially because of how much you can use it in the air. You can start getting revved up in the air. So if you like read something, maybe like an air dart or something, you get them through it. And if you get them to land on the ground, that could be a stun. Or if they manage to shield it, then they'll definitely be pressured in their shield. But you know, foregoing a command grab probably isn't the best thing when there's not so many of them going around, and then you have one like this one that can inhale them. Or you can just use them from the air or anything. You know, like grab them over here, try to like kill them with you or anything like that. As far as the bikes go, Zuko's I feel like is a little underwhelming just because of how slow it is. You know, your Wario, you know, Wario's not a slow character; he's pretty mobile. But you don't want a very slow option just to weigh you down. It's cool that you can get the bike right off from the start, but like, look at how crazy this is. You know, there's that recovery that I have. Maybe it could be preferred just because you're in the back of your head. You'll be like, you know what? I had the speeding bike. I can actually afford to shorten my recovery a little bit just to get a little bit extra range. So they complement each other in that way, and how fast it is on stage too. You know, like. It does have its drawback where, you know, a lot of moves can just beat it out like fair or anything like that. But I think it's a speedy option like that is just pretty crazy.
Right. I want to test one thing before we go on. I didn't test the shield damage on this, and I'm going to assume it's okay. So I want you to block it. I might do two tests. First, I'm just going to like run through you.
Okay.
So, okay, that wasn't much. Now I'm going to try and like swerve on you.
Okay.
Like do the turnaround. Yeah. So that's like okay. Like the pressure there is real.
Did I get shield pierced there, or was that unblockable?
It looked like it. We could wait and now like
go ahead, do it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was pierced there.
So yeah, I mean the shield damage is pretty good, and if it happens to poke, then hey, you get a grounded state, which is pretty good. But yeah, it's a little too slow for my liking. As for the corkscrews, I'm gonna say the normal one's the best, just because this one doesn't go far enough to really matter. Wario's horizontal recovery is already really, really good, and in my opinion. At the same time, I think foregoing the attack on mine isn't worth it. Though if I had to like pick one between like his and mine, I would probably go with mine just because I get more height, and I feel like that's pretty important rather than getting like horizontal options with up B, because you already have a ton of those. And the farts are a little bit gimmicky. I like the flower more than the quick waft just because the flower at least will damage them over time. Can still kill at some percentages, just not like nearly as early as the normal one. And mine just won't kill at all. So you're just kind of giving yourself maybe a little more of a practical attack, but that's one that like you don't have to fear as an opponent. Like I'm not gonna care if Wario has that. I don't have to worry about the clock nearly as much, things like that. And him like camping me isn't nearly as stressful because even if he gets it, it's gonna be like, oh, I'll still live at like 100 something, you know? Yeah, I think that wraps it up for me.
Alright, then give me a fart here though. Alright, so yeah, give us a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw, and we'll see you guys next time.
Later.